You're trying to belt, but it sounds like this. Ha! It's too loud, it's too open, and it's tiring you out too quickly. I want to fix that for you. I'm Matthew Johnson, owner of Elite Singer, and in this video, I want to give you my top 3 tips to have you belting your best and one of my favorite exercises to tie it all together. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button. It absolutely helps out the channel, and I always appreciate it. A lot of times when we think about belting, we imagine it being such an open and big and loud sound, but that's misleading. All that's going to do is lead you to tire out your voice, fatigue your voice, add strain onto your throat. We want to avoid that. And actually, belting is something that should feel pretty easy, almost like you're talking on pitch. Which brings us to our first tip. Instead of spreading the mouth and opening up too much, we want to keep your mouth slimmer. And there's a reason for this. If you open up your mouth, it's going to add brightness and strength to your sound without doing anything else in your voice. So if I take one pitch, the only thing I'm going to change is my mouth shape. You can hear how much that changes my sound. What that's going to do is add tension to the vocal folds if you're spreading too much and force you to need to push and use a lot of effort to get into those higher notes. Of course, we want to avoid that. So something that I want you to try is as you're going into those higher notes, rather than opening up to make that happen, I want you to take your fingers and put them on the corners of your mouth. As you're going higher, instead of opening up beyond your fingers, use them to keep your mouth smaller. That's going to get rid of that shouty sound and make it easier to stretch and blend into your upper register with a lot less effort. Because as soon as you start to open up, that's going to lead you down the path of trouble. It will tire you out, and it's going to make that sound a little too tight and a little too shouty than what you're going to be looking for. So make sure you keep those corners in. Number 2, stop being so loud. If you listen to any of your favorite belters, what do they all have in common? They're all using a microphone. This style of singing is designed to be used with a microphone. And as soon as you start to push too much volume, as you're adding loudness to get those higher notes, what that's going to force you to do is use more breath pressure. You're going to be pushing more from your abs, from your ribs, pushing all this breath past the vocal folds. And the vocal folds are only the size of your pinky nail. So if you're using all of that pressure, that's going to tire them out. Those are some tiny vocal folds to hold back all of that air, and it's going to strain them a lot. Now, you might get the higher notes, but at what cost? It's going to feel uncomfortable, and you'll notice that at that point, you only have 2 options. If you want to sing higher, you either got to continue to get louder, or you're going to totally crack and flip open, because you just can't get any louder than where you already are. Being able to pull back on that volume is going to give you more control on the vocal folds so you can get into your belt and your stronger mix much easier. So what volume should you be using as you sing? I would aim for, honestly, the volume that you use as you talk. Now, different songs might need more or less volume than that, but that's a good starting place. So trying to sing at about 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 of your full capacity volume, just the amount of volume you always use as you talk, is going to make sure that you're not pushing too much effort or force as you're going into the higher notes. At first, this might feel a little strange to get used to, but I promise you, once you get used to it, you're going to be amazed at the amount of control and stamina you have as you're belting with your voice. Tip 3 is use some nasal resonance. If you have some air flowing through your nose as you sing, it's actually going to take pressure off of the vocal folds. That'll allow them to stretch easier and make sure that you are working not nearly as hard to get the same strength and same range that you had before. So a good way to feel if you have nasal resonance as you sing is to gently place fingers on the sides of your nose and just hum for me. You're going to feel a little bit of buzzing right about here. Now, if you open up that hum to see if you can keep some of that buzz. And we want just a little bit of that buzz as you sing. Once again, it might feel a little strange at first, but having a little bit of that hummy quality as you sing is going to make sure that your vocal folds don't have too much strain on them as you're singing the music that you love. Now, this is a lot to think of all at once, so I want to give you one of my favorite exercises that puts all of these ideas together. What we're going to be doing is singing on the word one, and we want to make sure that we're starting with vocal fry before we go into the word. One. What does this word do? Well, the vocal fry is going to make sure that you're not pushing too much breath or volume as you go higher. The one, that W shape, one, is going to make sure that you're not spreading your mouth too much as you go into the higher notes. And then the N at the end, one, is going to give you that nasal resonance that we talked about. So all of these 3 tips in one exercise, it does wonders for making sure that you are singing the best, belting the best that you can. And we're going to be singing this on an 8-5-3-1 pattern. I will sing it for you. And we're going to start this at an F4. 1, 1, 1, 1. Go ahead and sing one with me. 1, 1, 1, 1. I'm going to pull that up higher. 1, 1, 1, 1. Make sure you're starting with that vocal fry. 1, 1, 1, 1. And keeping the lips small. Nice work. Use the same volume you use as you talk. 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. Nice work. Keep it up. 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. 2 more. 1, 1, 1, 1. And highest. 1, 1, 1, 1. Good work. If that's feeling easy, you can keep on going higher above the D5 we took you to. And if it's feeling a little tricky, that's okay. That's why we practice. Come back to this video, continue to use this exercise, and that'll continue to build your belting skills. That's where we're going to pause for today. That's a lot to focus on in one video. So check out the description below. I have a free resource for you that's going to make sure you are continuing to level up your singing. And then let me know in the comments if you have any questions about what we covered today, as well as what other topics you want me to cover in the future. Don't be shy. Every question is a good question. Keep up that great singing. Continue to play with this, and you are going to be belting like you never had before.